Did you know that over 30% of Canadian grain products contain glyphosate residues, and the bread you are eating right now probably has chemicals in it that are banned in Europe? Those loaves are filled with additives to make them last longer and look softer, while sacrificing your health with substances that other countries will not even allow near their food. But the good news is, there are artisan bakeries across Canada that actually produce bread the right way. Real fermentation, real ingredients, real nutrition. I am going to show you exactly where to find them, what they cost, and which one is right for you. Here are 3 things you must check before any loaf goes in your cart. First, flip the package over and count the ingredients. Real bread needs flour, water, salt, and thyme. If you are staring at 15 ingredients, including things like calcium propionate and azotocarbonamide, put it back. Your gut does not recognize those as food. Second, forget the squeeze test. Industrial bakeries add emulsifiers and excess fat to keep bread artificially soft for weeks. Third, look for fermentation time. Good bread will say slow fermented, or it will list actual hours of fermentation. If there is no mention of fermentation, that bread was likely made in under 2 hours using mechanical dough development and chemical assistance to work it all. Let me show you what you are actually eating when you buy industrial bread. For 14 years, from 2001 to 2015, Canada's biggest bread companies conspired to fix prices. Weston Foods, Canada Bread and Loblaws. They stole an estimated $5 billion from Canadian families. When Loblaws finally admitted it, they offered you a $25 gift card. $25 for $500 worth of overcharges. Here's the thing. If these companies were willing to conspire to steal your money for 14 years, what makes you think they care about the quality of ingredients they're putting in your bread? 2 corporations control 75 to 80% of the packaged bread market in Canada. Wonder Bread, Dempster's, Country Harvest, D'Italiano, Villaggio. Different labels, same 2 companies, same industrial process. Galen Weston Jr. has a net worth of $10 billion, while his companies were caught price-fixing bread, a staple food that low-income families depend on. The system is designed to maximize profit, not your health. Here is what the industrial process looks like. Mixing takes 5 to 10 minutes with high-speed mechanical mixers. Fermentation is skipped entirely or lasts maybe an hour. Chemical dough conditioners replace what time and biology would naturally create. The whole process takes 2 to 3 hours. Compare that to real bread, which ferments for 12 to 72 hours. That time difference is everything. Long fermentation breaks down gluten, develops complex flavors, creates natural preservation, and improves nutrient bioavailability. You cannot fake that with additives. Azotocarbonamide is legal in Canada at up to 45 parts per million. It is banned in Europe and Australia. When heated, azotocarbonamide breaks down into semicarbazide, a compound with carcinogenic potential in animal studies. It is also used to make yoga mats and shoe soles. Potassium bromate is restricted in Canada, but it is still used. Europe banned it in the 1990s because it is classified as possibly carcinogenic. Calcium propionate is added to prevent mold. Studies have linked it to behavioral issues in children, including irritability and sleep disturbance. And those emulsifiers, like DATEM, that make bread soft are common. Emerging research suggests they disrupt your gut microbiome, contribute to inflammation, and may be linked to inflammatory bowel disease. Now let's talk about what this is costing your health. 3 million Canadians have diabetes, 90% of it type 2, which is largely preventable through diet. The healthcare costs are $30 billion annually. Industrial white bread has a glycemic index of 70 to 75. It spikes your blood sugar faster than table sugar. Eat it for breakfast and you are hungry again in 90 minutes, stuck in a blood sugar roller coaster that, over the years, leads to insulin resistance and diabetes. Real sourdough has a glycemic index of 40 to 55. 2 slices keep you satisfied for 4 to 5 hours. That's not marketing, that's physiology. The average Canadian family overpaid $400 to $500 during the bread price fixing years. But you are overpaying way more than that in healthcare costs. Spending an extra $500 per year on quality bread for your family is not expensive. It is insurance against spending $15,000 per year managing type 2 diabetes. So here are the real bread options that will actually nourish you. In British Columbia, from Vancouver to Victoria to the interior, You will find artisan bakeries doing long-fermented sourdough with organic ingredients. Look for bakeries offering fermentation times of 12 to 24 hours. Prices range from $6 to $10 per loaf. The Cowichan Valley has bakeries milling their own heritage grain flour on site. Alberta's cities are seeing an artisan bread renaissance. Calgary has several bakeries offering genuine sourdough with fermentation of 24 hours or more, and some even mill flour in-house. Edmonton neighborhoods have bakeries focusing on organic ingredients and traditional methods. Expect $6 to $11 for quality loaves. The Prairie provinces have strong bread traditions from Ukrainian and Mennonite communities. Winnipeg has worker-owned cooperative bakeries producing exceptional sourdough at $6 to $9 per loaf. Look for Mennonite bakeries in smaller towns. Places like Steinbach have traditional bakeries using real methods for generations. Ontario has the most artisan bakery options in Canada. Toronto's Kensington Market, Queen West, and East End neighborhoods are filled with bakeries focusing on heritage grains. Red Fife wheat, spelt, and other ancient varieties that your great-grandparents would recognize. Expect $7 to $12 per loaf. Ottawa has multiple award-winning bakeries. Hamilton's James Street North has emerged as a bakery destination. London, Kingston, and Kitchener-Waterloo all have growing artisan scenes. Quebec has the strongest bread culture in Canada thanks to French traditions. Montreal alone has dozens of artisan bakeries across neighborhoods from Mile End to Plateau to Old Montreal. Expect French-style baguettes, pain de campagne, and sourdough bouillies fermented the traditional way. Most loaves cost $6 to $9. Quebec City maintains old-world bakery traditions with several generations-old family operations. Even smaller Quebec towns often have a traditional boulangerie that has not cut corners. The Atlantic provinces are building their artisan bread culture. Halifax has several excellent bakeries with organic ingredients and proper fermentation. Expect $7 to $11 per loaf. In New Brunswick, the Spearville area has one of Canada's few remaining stone mills producing fresh ground flour. Farmers markets across the Maritimes often feature local bakers. But here's the truth. The absolute best bread is not found by following a list. It is your local independent bakery that bakes from scratch. Search for bakeries near you. When you find one, ask 3 questions. Is this baked from scratch on site? How long does your sourdough ferment? Do you use any dough conditioners or processing aids? A real baker will answer proudly with specific numbers. 12 hours, 24 hours, 48 hours. Someone reheating frozen dough will get vague or defensive. Every major Canadian city has artisan bakers, but 70% of Canadians still live in areas where industrial bread dominates and real alternatives require effort to find. That is a policy failure. That is a food system designed for corporate profit, not public health. And if you cannot access artisan bakeries regularly, you have another option. Bake it yourself. A loaf of real sourdough costs you $2 to $3 in ingredients. Organic stone ground flour, water, salt, and a sourdough starter that lasts forever. The active work time is 20 to 30 minutes. The rest is just waiting while the dough ferments. During the pandemic, millions of Canadians learned to bake sourdough. It is not complicated. It is actually meditative and satisfying, and you will save $5 to $9 per loaf compared to buying artisan bread. Quick recap for your next shop. Look for bakeries offering heritage grains and long fermentation times of at least 12 hours. Ask the 3 questions to separate real bakers from industrial reheaters. If accessibility or budget is an issue, learn to bake at home for $2 to $3 per loaf. And remember, if Weston or Grupo Bimbo owns the brand, you are funding the same companies that stole $5 billion from Canadians and produced bread with chemicals banned in Europe. Your purchase is a vote. Every dollar you spend on real bread is a vote for a food system that values health over profit, craft over convenience, and people over shareholders. Canada grows some of the best wheat in the world. We export premium grain globally, but the average Canadian eats industrial garbage made with the cheapest possible ingredients in the fastest possible process. That is not an accident. That is a choice made by corporations that control our food system. We can make a different choice. Flip the package. Count the ingredients. Choose bread that is actually bread. Which region are you in, and what bakery are you going to try first? Let me know in the comments.